As a psychiatrist, I've treated thousands of people struggling with anxiety, and lately more are asking me, could Ozempic be making my anxiety worse? The real answer is, it depends on your biology, the role food played in your life, and certain other crucial factors you need to know about. I'm Dr. Air, quadruple board certified psychiatrist and anxiety expert. So you started out on Ozempic to lose weight, and it worked, but something else started happening, something nobody warned you about. You're now waking up at 3 a.m. with your heart pounding, worrying excessively, with a low-grade dread that follows you through the day. You feel flat, disconnected, like the volume on your entire emotional life has been turned down. And the most confusing part is you can't tell if it's the Ozempic or if something else is wrong with you. Let's take a closer look at the truth about Ozempic anxiety and your mental health. I'll walk you through what the research actually says, why this medication affects some people's mental health in ways that are genuinely dangerous, and the one hidden factor that could be quietly making your anxiety worse right now. Along the way, I'll also explain something about your brain's reward system that may completely change how you think about this drug. The first thing you need to know is that GLP-1 medications, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, are not just weight loss drugs. They all affect the brain. GLP-1 receptors, the receptors these medications activate, are not only in your gut, they're found throughout your brain, in areas that control mood, motivation, reward, emotional regulation, and anxiety. So when you inject this medication, you're not just sending a message to your stomach to feel full, you're also causing some changes in your brain. You see, your brain has a reward system. It runs on dopamine. This system lights up when you eat something you love, when you connect with someone who matters, when you finish something hard. It's your brain's way of saying, that mattered, do it again. GLP-1 medications directly affect this dopamine system. With that in mind, let's look at what the research shows. Many large studies on Ozempic and other GLP-1s are actually positive and reassuring when it comes to mental health. A large study involving over 87,000 participants found no significant increase in serious psychiatric adverse events compared to placebo. A placebo is a substance used in research that appears to be real medicine but has no active ingredients. It is used to compare with the effects of a medication during studies. Another study actually found people on semaglutide had slightly lower depression scores than those not taking it. So the main research suggests this medication does not cause psychiatric problems. However, the story doesn't end there. Real-world adverse event databases tell a different story for a small subset of people. One analysis flagged signals for depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation. Psychiatric events accounted for only 1.2% of total reports, but their severity was significant, and researchers were careful to know that they cannot definitively rule out the possibility of a small risk. Ozempic isn't a mental health villain, but for certain people, its effect on the brain can tip a vulnerable nervous system into crisis. Recognizing if you're at risk is key. The question is, are you one of those people? In my clinical experience, I see three distinct groups of patients on these medications. Group 1 includes people whose anxiety and depression are partly driven by their relationship with food, such as binge eating, emotional eating, or constant food obsession. When the food noise quiets and they have strong support, the brain finally has space to heal. For them, this medication can be life-changing. Group 2 consists of people with a history of depression, anxiety, or trauma for whom food is one of the few things that still brings comfort or numbs the pain. When that source is removed without being replaced, the underlying pain doesn't go away, it just loses its cover. Group 3 is the highest risk people. People whose eating has served as a survival mechanism for decades, usually due to childhood trauma, PTSD, or complex emotional dysregulation. For these individuals, food isn't just a comfort, it's essential for emotional survival. Removing it without supporting their underlying nervous system can trigger a full psychological crisis. This makes it important to recommend psychiatric screening and support for people starting GLP-1s, especially for people with pre-existing mental health conditions. This becomes even more important as we get older. Decades of chronic stress, accumulated losses, and hormonal shifts can alter how the nervous system responds to significant chemical changes. The stakes can be higher in midlife. Now, let me show you what this actually looks like in real people. Same medication, same dose, completely opposite outcomes. Angela is 48, 20 years of binge eating and depression. Food was how she managed stress, loneliness, and overwhelm. 6 months into treatment, the mental chatter about food was gone. The 3 a.m. kitchen raid stopped. Her anxiety dropped. Her depression lifted for the first time in years. She told me, it's like someone finally turned down the chaos in my brain. Then there's Marcus, 52 years old. Lost 30 pounds in 3 months. Everyone congratulated him, but inside he was struggling, depressed. He stopped caring about his hobbies, became withdrawn, and stopped returning calls. He described it like this: I'm thinner, but I don't care about anything anymore. I feel like a robot. Then the dark thoughts started. Marcus had a stable history of depression for 5 years. He was group 2. Food had been regulating his emotional life for decades. When it was gone, what was underneath came flooding back. Same drug, same dose. One person improved, one person struggled. The difference wasn't willpower, it wasn't weakness, it was biology and the specific emotional role that food has been playing in each of their lives. Stepping back, that's the critical point that often gets overlooked. Rapid weight loss without proper nutritional support depletes the raw materials the brain needs to make serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. Ozempic suppresses appetite so powerfully that many people simply aren't eating enough. They're losing weight fast and quietly starving their brain chemistry at the same time. It's like asking your brain to run a marathon on an empty tank. This can contribute to an increase in anxiety, mood flattening, sleep deteriorating, and people blame the medication when part of the problem is that their brain has been running on nutritional fumes for months because they have not been eating properly and are not getting the right nutrients. Aim for 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. Consider omega-3s, 2,000 milligrams daily. Magnesium glycinate at night, methylated B vitamins, zinc. These are the building blocks your brain chemistry depends on. And poor sleep makes all of this worse. I've put together a free sleep guide with the exact protocol I use with my patients. The link to the free download is in the description below. Now let's talk about some warning signs you must never ignore. Watch out for these signs. You're not just less hungry, you're less interested in everything. Things that used to bring joy feel hollow. Depression is worsening even as the weight comes off. Brain fog is heavier than before, pulling away from people and becoming withdrawn. And if you're having any new or worsening thoughts of suicide, that is not an adjustment period. That is an emergency. Go to the ER immediately. Here's what's also true and equally important. For many people, losing weight genuinely transforms their mental health. When the physical burden on your body lifts, a lot changes. Joint pain improves, sleep apnea may resolve, energy returns. And when your body feels better, your brain feels better too. Better blood sugar control could lead to fewer mood swings, less brain fog, and more stable energy throughout the day. But perhaps the most powerful change is psychological. Obesity carries a heavy invisible weight: shame, stigma, social withdrawal, a quiet erosion of confidence over the years. When it starts to lift, something remarkable happens. People reconnect with themselves. They show up again. They feel like the person they used to be, or maybe the person they always wanted to become. That's not superficial. That's real, meaningful healing. All of this means the goal isn't to fear GLP-1 medications like Ozempic. It's to use them wisely. If you continue to struggle with anxiety, even after reaching your desired weight, watch the next video. It covers exactly how to treat anxiety.